Hello everyone, JRDeal96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's Madness Combat related. It's been a while since we've seen anything from Madness Combat. And today's video is for part 2 of Madness Combat 9.5. Now, the last thing we saw was over 2 years ago in part 1 where, Hank is in this weird purgatory, dimension, upside down, void, some form of hell where he's fighting through, and then he encounters Tricky a few times, and he encounters this big entity that teleports every time he tries to shoot him. And then last thing we saw, he was pretty much at the verge of death. I don't know, like Hank was being grabbed by the thing, by the big giant enemy. I don't know what was happening, but since this is taking place pretty much after 7 and during 8 and at some point during the events of 9 up until his actual resurrection in 9. So I wonder, will this actually tie into Madness Combat 9, and will it explain why he ends up coming back much bigger than he actually was prior to when he got resurrected in 9? And he had that weird lobster claw, that kind of thing. Will that happen? So, who knows? But, anyways, enough rambling. Let's just get right into the madness. So, without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we? Here we go. A lot of gears. Machine witness processing. Hank returned, retained. Hank must be retained. That's probably where the lobster claw came from right there. I don't know. What the hell is happening now? Is this Hank again? Or is it somebody else? Oh. Oh, never mind. There he is. Now he looks like Madness Combat 6 Hank. With the, the weird jaw. Jesus Christ. I gotta be honest, the animation is a lot smoother than the earlier ones, and I love that. It's very smooth. Ooh. Jeez. There goes that phone. Ouch. Hank, we can't escape. Turn around, you ding-dong. Oh. Good lord. Whoa, that guy was, glitching like crazy. Oh gosh. Oh, Tricky again. Oh, good old Tricky. No matter where Hank is, he can never escape him. Ooh. More goons. Jeez. Gosh. Oh. Good Lord Almighty. Hank is like not pulling punches. Well, then again, he doesn't. Oh, Tricky's coming out of the ground again. Look at him. Look at him just chilling in the background like, oh, I like this show. God, he ripped his face off. Ouch. Whoa, my God. Oh my God, that is freaky as hell! God almighty, I didn't know that Tricky turned into a demon from Doom. Good lord! Oh my gosh. Well, there's that guy again. Oh. Oh, Tricky. Tricky's back again. I find it weird that Tricky stopped the entity from killing him. That's a little weird with that stop sign, of course. God. Gosh. Ooh. Whoa, that guy's head was a little... Oh, now they're deteriorating. You know, some of those goons? I didn't notice that. Some of them have their skin ripped off. Up. God! Like Hank's like, can you stay dead for once? Tracking lost. Meanwhile... Oh! Is that to be damned, or is that someone else? It might... I don't remember. It might be to be damned. Or the doctor, I don't even know. Finding a Hank. Check your 6. Oh, that's a callback to 6. Do what comes natural. Oh, there he is again. And more entities. Great. Just what we need. Gosh. Nope. Bounced off him and hit the other guy. Oh, he got him. Somewhat. Whoa! Tricky stopped him. Again. Oh! Oh. Whoa! Oh my gosh. Oh! Whoa. Oh my god! Starts cutting him up with a chainsaw. No, Tricky's like, he's mine! Oh my gosh. Danger. Whoa. Hank is different now. Hank is like 7 again. Madness Combat 7 look. It's like as if this is like when he got shot in 7. Whoa. Gosh. Huh. Right through the glass. Oh, man. Tricky. Come on. Okay. Throwing bodies. And rocks. God, Tricky won't fucking stay dead. Oh, what the fuck? Now there's 2. What the fuck is happening? There's 2 of them now. 6 and 7 are fighting each other. It's the multiverse. What a matchup this would be. Hank versus Hank. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh. This is when Deimos is reviving him before he gets killed. I'll keep taking them back. Oh, man. I'm curious on what was happening there. Oh man, that was good. We really loved that a lot, man. That was really, really good. Very bizarre looking. Very bizarre because it starts off with Hank sporting his look from Madness Combat 6 when he had the fake jaw, him fighting and stuff. But then later, near the end, you see him still in his Madness Combat 7 outfit fighting, and you're thinking, oh, he changed during the fight. But then later, when, you know, Tricky was coming in, trying to kill him, then the Madness Combat 6 Hank comes in and kills Tricky. I'm like, what the hell's happening? Now there's multiple Hanks? That was weird as hell. Like, I don't even know. Like, again, I don't really dig deep into the lore of the series. I try to follow it as much as I can, but based on what I'm thinking is, I guess, the amount of times that Hank has died. Maybe that probably might explain why there were multiple versions of him. The amount of times he died in various states of decay and the amount of wounds he had. First he got shot in the head, then he got stabbed in the heart, then he blew himself up, then Tricky ripped his head off and broke his jaw by throwing it on the ground multiple times. Then he died by an impaling with the stop sign before getting revived 2 seconds later. And then thrown down like a huge cliff with half his face remaining. And then he gets shot in the head by Jesus. By the Savior, Jeebus, or Jesus. I don't even know what the official name for him is. But then that was it. And after that, you don't see him in 8. And then in 9, he gets revived by Deimos. And he gets turned into like a bigger version with a lobster claw. And I noticed that the lobster claw was the one that grabbed Madness Combat 7 Hank and brought him in. Because in that moment, Deimos was reviving Hank. He put him in the revival machine before he got killed by one of the possessed, grunts from the Auditor. So, very interesting. Very bizarre, like. And another thing, too, like, I'm more curious about is, like, why was Tricky helping Hank, in a sense, by preventing the bigger grunt from killing him? Like, there would be moments where, you know, the bigger guy would be really close to killing Hank, and then Tricky comes in like, no, you're not killing him. It's, like, almost as if Tricky is like, oh, he's mine. He's not yours to kill. He's mine to kill. So, I don't really know what's happening. Hopefully, people in the comments will fill me in on that. Like, I find that interesting. Because they kind of reminded me in the moment in Madness Combat 7, at the end, when Jesus kills Hank, Tricky goes, hey! Because he's like, that's my kill! You know, he was mine. You know, like, I found that interesting. Maybe that was a tie-in, but I'm still confused with the multiple Hanks. I just find that odd. Like, really? 2 Hanks? One wasn't enough. Imagine all of them together in one world. That'd be hilarious. So, now I guess that completes the 0.5 series. Because we got in Madness Combat 5.5, 5.6, 6.5, 4, and 7.5 to fill in the gap for the adventures of Sanford and Deimos before 9, and, stuff like that. And also 9.5, which was, filling in what was going on in the world of that purgatory that we first saw in those Deadmos Deimos, videos before the release of Madness Combat 11. So, it was a lot of, filling in the gaps, filling in the puzzle pieces and questions that we've had about it, and it gives you a little bit more to deep dive on what goes on in that world. Like, when they die, they get sent to this weird purgatory. It's almost like a game. It's like this AI system that is created this, weird world in Nevada, somewhere in Nevada, that causes all these, random things to go crazy with this improbability drive, causing a lot of enemies to come in, and you have to kill them all. Like, it's a weird game. So, found that it's very interesting, and I've been a fan of this series since when I first discovered it on a website called stickpage.com. And I've been a fan since, and at that time 8, I think, was coming out, and I watched all 7 of them in a row, and I'm like, this is a really good series. I love this series. And then I see that the teaser for 9 came out. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be good. So when 9 came out, I was really excited. I was so happy to see an actual new episode after watching all of them and discovering the series. And then I see the 0.5s, and then I'm like, when does 10 come out? And then 10 comes out a year after, like 2 years after 9, and then I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see what happens next with Madness Combat 11. Unfortunately, we had to wait over nearly 7 years for that to know what will happen next. And hopefully we don't have to wait another 7 years for Madness Combat 12. Apparently, according to Crinkles, the creator of this series, he may do the same thing with, 9.5 and split it up. And not, do the entire thing in one video, but he might just do what he did with 9.5 and split it up. Split up the whole, split it into multiple parts. Which I think is I guess you could say a much smarter move, but at the same time, it's like, gosh, hopefully it doesn't take too long for each gap, because look at the gap it took in between 9.5 and, part 1 and then part 2. Part 1 came out in October 2020, while, part 2 came out at least 4 months ago. Like, you don't want to wait too long for this kind of stuff, right? Hopefully it doesn't take too long for each part, But here's another thing I liked, was a little callback to Madness Combat 6, and it kind of tied in with the, Hank's current look at the time from Madness Combat 6. He saw a little piece of paper that said, do what comes natural, which was what Tricky left at Hank's body that started the episode 6. So I found that really cool to see, but that was, speaking of Tricky, gosh, it's like no matter what, even if he's dead, Tricky somehow finds a way to be, to torment Hank. No matter where Hank is, Hank is tormented by poor Tricky. We did see also that weird guy, I think was the same one we saw at the end of the Deimos Adventures, and also in the Center, where he hacked the system and caused, the Grunt to kill his own men. I don't know. It might have been the same guy or someone else that looked similar, because they were trying to retain Hank. That was the whole thing. Retain Hank. And I found it hilarious when he threw the phone into the guy's head. The phone goes, ouch. I thought that was funny. As if the phone, that little iPhone thing, felt pain. I just found that funny. But what was also freaky was Tricky turning into almost like a freaking Doom monster, when he had the jaws like, the Predator. Very freaky shit. My goodness, man. Like, I love this series. It is brutal as hell, but also entertaining as hell. Just some of the kills that Hank does. He ripped, like, the guy's, mouth off and left his, his lower jaw exposed. It's like, geez. But then again, this is the same guy who ripped a guy's heart out of his body in episode 7. So, geez. That is bizarre. But I like the series a lot. But anyways, I think overall I really enjoyed part 2 to 9.5. I think, I'm obviously looking forward to what happens next in the series, especially Madness Combat 12, whenever the hell that comes out. And hopefully, I don't know if there's, the thing is, I don't even know if there's going to be another .5 episode. Because I think at this point now we've gone a lot. Like, all the, the mysteries about the, we wonder who were these two new characters in 9, Sanford and Dimos. Oh, they were the same two guys that gave Hank a weapon before being crushed by a building in episode 5. They tied in, those events and, tied everything together. So what's going to happen now? Is there going to be another .5 episode, or is this it? Because there was no .5 episode for 8, and you would think, okay, maybe this, that, it would have been there. It probably would have been done. But the fact that Crinkle skipped 8 and did 9.5 instead, maybe this is, maybe because of the fact that it technically kind of takes place during the events of 8 and 9. Midway through, all the way through 8 and midway through 9. Up until Hank gets resurrected. So I have no idea. But anyways, let me know what you thought about this in the comments. Let me know what your theories are about what's happening here and, stuff like that. But also, speaking of Crinkles, I think I noticed this too. He put up, I guess he has his own, campaigns on Makeship, which is the same, company that made the Lixium plush. So he's got his own plushes. He first had Tricky, the clown, and I'm like, oh, I hope they make a Hank plush. And what do you know, a month or two later, there it is. And I ordered that son of a bitch. Because that was I love that series so much. And it's been a part of my life, most of my life. So I really enjoyed the series. So I want to at least own a piece of merchandise related to the series, So I felt like doing that. And also, around the time when 9.5 Part 2 was coming out, I became a Patreon supporter of him. So I think I might have missed the boat on having my name included in the ending credits, because he has all the names that pop up at the end. So I might have missed the boat a little too late. But, whatever. So maybe the next one he does, it'll be at the end, Overall, I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next one, whenever that is. I really love the animation. You could tell the difference if you watch the first one and then watch a newer one. You could tell how smoother the newer ones are compared to the very first ones that came out. It was a little choppier in the very first few episodes, because at the time I guess Crinkles was new to that kind of animating. But you could tell how much Crinkles has improved with making these animations. So, man, I think it's really good. Great to see him, that he's improved a lot since. So, anyways, enough rambling. I've rambled on long enough. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. So, if you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram, because I make collabs with Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and myself. I always turn active as a cosplays on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRDeal96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!